Did you know one Indian ship sailing to London became a challenge to British control at sea before India was even independent? Hi, welcome to Beyond the History Textbooks. In 1919, a ship left Bombay harbour and began a voyage to London. At first glance, there was nothing unusual about it. Well, ships crossed between India and Britain all the time. Cargo moved, passengers travelled, mail flowed across the empire. But this particular voyage was being watched far more closely than most because the people following it weren't interested in where the ship was going. They were interested in who owned it. To understand why, you have to remember what the seas looked like in colonial India. In the early 20th century, international shipping around India was dominated by British companies. The major trade routes, passenger services, cargo networks, much of it operated through commercial systems that had been built, protected, and controlled under the empire. For Indian businesses, entering that world was difficult. The rules favored established British firms, the contracts favored established British firms. Even access to profitable routes often favored established British firms. And that wasn't an accident. Then, a group of Indian industrialists decided to challenge the system, not with speeches, not with protests, but with a ship. An Indian owned company purchased a vessel and prepared it for a voyage between Bombay and London. Today, that might sound routine. In 1919, it was a statement. Because for perhaps the first time, Indians weren't simply traveling on imperial shipping networks, they were attempting to compete with them. Newspapers followed the story closely, business leaders paid attention, nationalist circles celebrated it. What was technically a commercial voyage began taking on a much larger meaning. The ship became a symbol of something many Indians were beginning to imagine: economic self confidence. The belief that Indians could build, own, and operate global businesses themselves even while living under the colonial rule. The vessel was called SS Loyalty, and the company behind it was the Scindia Steam Navigation Company. The voyage did not suddenly break British dominance at sea, obviously. The challenge remained enormous, but the symbolism endured. Because long before India achieved political independence, there were already Indians trying to challenge colonial power through industry, commerce, and enterprise. And somewhere between Bombay and London, a ship named Loyalty carried more than passengers across the ocean. It carried the idea that Indians could compete on equal terms in a world that had been designed to keep them dependent. For more such history tidbits, follow us here at Quiet Curiosities, and I'll be back soon with another one.